Pavel Kolobkov.
Oh, he's done it. And there it is. So closing into the gold medal match, it's bronze for Mate.
Yannick Borel just looking to see it out, and he does just that. And Borel wins this 15-10. Yannick Borel is back and means business this season, that is for sure.
A question when it comes to anything, whether it be sports, contests, video games, or anything that could be even considered remotely competitive, is the question of the greatest to ever do it. For some things, it's easy to point towards a single individual who stands above the rest. However, in most instances, the GOAT debate tends to not be an easy nor civil conversation. This is especially true when it comes to epée fencing. This video will go through the 4 fencers that are most often compared and contrasted for the title of the greatest of all time. Just quickly before we get started, I know this channel usually focuses on men's epée the most, since I'm a men's epée fencer, and as such, my ear's a little closer to the ground when it comes to men's epée fencing. But the video title is the greatest epée fencer of all time, so I'd like to quickly go over the greatest women's epée fencer of all time, since there isn't really a debate over who the greatest is for that category. And even before we do that, I'd just like to say a big thank you to everyone for the recent support. The last video that I made, where I actually talked, and the little, I guess, video essay on Heinzer and Borel was very well received, and I'm just very grateful for everyone. By the time this video goes up, I think we'll have reached 500 subscribers, so I just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone who made that possible. To be honest, I didn't think this channel would go anywhere, so the fact that we are at 500 now is pretty crazy, so just want to say thank you to everyone. And if we're not at 500 by the time this video goes up, then scroll on down and click that subscribe button, because we're pretty darn close, and I'd like to make it there before the end of January, because that was the goal, and I think we can still do it. So thank you everyone, and we'll get back to the video now. Vivian Kong is the greatest women's epéiste of all time, and it's not particularly close. Women's epée is a newer event compared to men's epée due to the excessive sexism that kept women out of Olympic fencing for many years. Since the sport is still pretty new, it is very easy to point to Vivian as the one who stood above the rest. For some reason, epée was the last event that allowed women to fence into the Olympics, and that started up in 1992. Foil allowed women to fence in 1924, but for some reason epée was keeping women out of fencing until 1992. And it was from this relatively new sport that Vivian emerged, a women's epée fencer from Hong Kong. Her medal count should be up on screen right now, and this is all before she turned 30. She retired at age 29 after winning gold in the women's individual epée event in Tokyo. So all of this was achieved from, I think her first season was when she was 18 years old, and her last season was when she was 29. So there isn't really much debate on this topic. So if anyone would like me to make another video further explaining Vivian's story, I can totally explore that in another video, but she already has quite a lot of media attention. There's documentaries, talk shows, interviews, and a bunch of other stuff on her. So for the rest of the video, I'm going to go over the top 4 fencers who are considered the greatest of all time in men's epée fencing, and how they stack up against each other. Since that one is a bit more of a debate, there's no Vivian Kong that stands above the rest.
Attacked from way at a distance and somehow was able to put the light on, and she's 1 away from the gold, way at a distance, and scored on the second remise. was turning yourself upside.
You go.
And Kong is your champion.
Now that we're back to men's fencing, we're going to start with the man himself, Pavel Kolobkov. This man has won every tournament possible that he was allowed to fence in, and he is the old head's favorite pick for the greatest of all time. And in terms of pure dominance, no one really comes close. There's a very good reason why people pick him as the greatest of all time. Because in terms of medal count and tournament placements, no one has or ever will come close to what he did. However, and this is a very big however, the tournaments at the time were, by today's standards, pretty pathetic. Kolobkov was the best at the time, no questions. He innovated and pushed the boundaries of fencing that had never even been touched before. However, fencing at the time was even less popular than it is now, with World Championships having as few as 60 fencers, and some World Cups having only 40. And fencing was also still breaking out of its shell at the time. It was still considered a very elitist sport, even more than it is today. So many of the athletes in attendance were simply there because they could be, for a show of status. Most of these fencers would be less than fodder if they fenced at today's standards of a World Cup, which is not meant to be an attack at anyone or any fencers, but as is the case with many sports, the longer time goes on, the better people will get at said sport. And fencing is a rather crazy example, as the sheer jump in skill for fencing is outrageous. Most of the fencers in the top 4 during 2002 or 2003 wouldn't even be able to land a hit on a modern powerhouse like Siklosi or Kano. In fact, Pavel Kolobkov has been fencing for so long that his entire record isn't even available online. The FIE website only starts his medal count and any of his placements with the 2001-2002 season, and he had been fencing far, far, far longer than that. However, signs of the newer generation of fencing taking over can be seen as he dropped from 13th in the world to 101st come the 2006 season before retiring the following season in 2007. Speaking of modern powerhouses, let's get into them next. Siklosi will likely be considered the greatest of all time by the end of his career, as he's only 28 now, being compared to fencers who are well and done with their fencing careers, and he still has many, many years ahead of him. His style also isn't one that overly relies on the speed or athletics of a younger fencer. Rather, it relies on the strategy of a more experienced fencer, meaning his skill will likely continue to increase until his eventual retirement. Actually, since we started with Siklosi, we're also going to throw Kano into the same page or segment as Siklosi. In that, I put Siklosi at the beginning and slightly above Kano right now is due to the difference in medal count. Kano is sitting at about 12 medals right now, while Siklosi sits at nearly 20 international medals. Granted, most of Kano's medals are gold, however, Siklosi has seen the podium quite a few more times than Kano. Another thing is that Siklosi has been in the top 4 ranked fencers in the world for over 6 seasons, which is insanely impressive at his age compared to the 4 seasons that Kano has spent within the top 4. As of now, these two are the best in the modern circuit, no ifs, ands, or buts. They're shaping out to have quite the rivalry, but since they've been ranked number 1 and number 2 for so long, and due to bracket seeding, they seldom ever get to fence against each other. That being said, both of these fencers are amazing and will be fighting with each other for the title of the greatest, as likely whoever finishes higher between these two will replace our last fencer on the throne as the best to ever do it.
Far at a distance there, and Siklosi was able to see that and make the parry. He's so quick, Kano, but that was
Lovely attack from Yannick Borel. Borel in close quarters lands the gold medal hit. He is the European champion, dived on by his coach, Hugh Overy. What a brilliant fight.
What's so great about it is that he hasn't done it by from Borel.
A lot of the time he's mixed it up. He's either waited for Leonardo Gascon to attack him and either doubled it out or avoided the attack and scored the point, or he's gone in and attacked himself. And the variation and the skill level from Yannick Borel has been quite incredible. And a single hit fittingly takes him to the target score of 15, and Yannick Borel, the European champion, is now the champion of the world.
It was a fabulous performance from him. That was textbook. And to hold Ruben Lamardo to 2 solo points in a world championship gold medal match.
Yannick Borel, ladies and gentlemen. Are we surprised? Probably not. Since this channel has essentially just become a place for Borel to come if he ever needs to pick me up, but let's be serious here. He fenced the hardest generation of fencers, from Grumier all the way up until the Ciclosi and Kano era, defeating all of them at one point or another. Doing all of this while being put out for nearly multiple seasons due to a broken hand and a broken foot. This was insanely impressive to be able to bounce back after both of these injuries. He was the most dominant fencer for his time and was even able to hold a spot steadily in the top 8 for 6 seasons, staying in the last 16 for even longer. And on top of that, he was a 6-time Grand Prix champion, 4-time European champion, world champion, Team Olympic champion, and has over 21 international medals. He spent 5 seasons ranked in the top 4 and closing out his final season with a silver Olympic medal, narrowly losing to Kano Koki of Japan in the finals. Thank you all for watching. If you continue to enjoy these longer form videos, a little bit more talking, a little bit more into the actual nerdy aspects of fencing, make sure to drop a subscription and also like the video if you could. We're almost at 500 subs, or we've just passed 500 subs and halfway to 1,000. Either way, like to keep the channel going, so thank you all so much for your support. If you disagree with the list in any way, shape, or form, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I reply to almost every comment. Sometimes this is just a bit too many for me to keep up with, but I really do try my best. So thank you all very much, and take care.